Bitcoin moved up just as expected from the last video. So now we're going to take a look at what is next for Bitcoin. Are we going to all-time highs, or are we turning around back into the bear market territory? Well, we have a few different options here. So here we have a zigzag down, a correction, and here we are counting this as an impulse. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, looking for all-time high. Here we are considering the correction finished. It is a valid target in both time and in price. We hit not the 86, but we came very close, which is not probable target for wave 2. But since we didn't hit it, it still remains an option. So this scenario is looking for bullish continuation, basically. Yep. And here we are counted this as an impulse. We could count it as an ABC, but more of that later. So in this scenario, this is the same scenario. Yeah, not really though, because here we also have an impulse. Here we are counting this move down as an A, and then we are counting this as a wave B, and then a wave C to end the correction. But as I explained in the last video, if we were to count this as a probable option, we can't really hit the 86 for this scenario to be viable. So we have a very, very tight room here to weaken room, basically. So yeah, this isn't really a preferred count, but it is an option and something to be aware of. Here we're counting it as a WX, then an A, B, C. So either we get a ABC, or as a regular flat or expanded flat, or a zigzag. That is up for exploration, since we are right now moving into those price territories. But nonetheless, this is looking for the upside, and if we were to hit the here about 90, we would need to count this as a three-way structure down, because then this would be a flat, and that is a bit tricky. So yeah, it has higher probability to be an A, B, C, like a zigzag down here, and that this is then stopping at 88.7, which you have stopped at, basically. So yeah, that's an option, and this is looking for downside, but after this is finished, we're looking for more upside to take out the all-time high. Here we have an option, and this is WXY X, and here is the finished wave Y. So the difference between this and this is that this is a sideways correction, and this needs to be hit. We need to hit the 70 fib for this to be viable, and the 70 fib we take from here to here, and you see that we clearly hit it. So this is a sideways count, and in a sideways count, Y can't be a zigzag if wave W is a zigzag. So then wave Y needs to be a flat or a triangle. So here we are also kind of moving back down from hitting the top here to a Y, and then we go up to all-time highs. So yeah, this is the local structure count. You can count it a bit differently, because you need to be flexible when you are counting this as we go. So right now, this is a probable count for this. We could have a few hidden 1-2s here as well to get more, like 4-5, 4-5, 4-5, and that kind of thing. So, but mainly this is counted best as an impulse right now, because otherwise wave C would be very, very long. If you were to count this as an A, B, and then we have a C here, you would have a C that would be, yeah, you can see it. I mean, you have to basically Yeah, around 400. And that is very unlikely that it is a wave C, so this counts better as an impulse type of structure. And here we have a longer kind of scenario. This is on the daily time frame. So here we count this as an A, W, X, A, B, C into a Y, and this is to finish wave B, and then we go down into C. But this is for further down the line exploration. So here we are looking for more upside. We can even take out the all-time high, and then we go down, and then we move back up. So yeah, we have a few different scenarios, but we need to basically pay attention what happens here. Do we get a correction, or do we get an impulse down? That is basically what decides next move and the next probabilities. So stay on the alert for a three-way structure, which is a correction, or an impulse, which is a five-way structure. So that is the most important thing. Here, I also always talk about the channels. So you can see here, I use the channels here to pinpoint the corrections. And you can see that wave W here, follow it very nicely, X very nicely, and then we have this. And when you can see here, I mentioned in the last video as well that if we have a clear break above or below a channel like this with a strong candle closed, it's very high probability that it signals that something else is starting. And you can see that, yeah, we did break out and something else is starting. So that is something to be aware of. And also, this is the macro count I have. This is a long term on a weekly basis. And you can see here, if I do it on a daily, I have basically few time clusters here. You can see that around these dates something happened. So you can see here we kind of, this move was finished and we moved up. Here it went like a few hours and then we moved up. And here you can see that we, right at this point, we did have a move down, a very big one. This didn't really affect it so much. You can see it's not really signing any new structure or anything, so that can happen. It's just something that be aware of, that something can happen at these time points. The next one is here on October 3, so maybe this will be the turnaround. Yeah, that was everything. Thank you for listening. Have a good one.